this is really interesting, coming off a weekend when Frankenstein was in theaters, but also streaming. We don't know how Frankenstein did, but we're pretty sure it did really great. But it's another sign that Netflix is kind of creeping into theatrical exhibition while at the same time saying, no, 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 we're not a theatrical company, we're a streaming company. Tell us kind of what you're reading, what you're seeing in that.
Yeah, I mean, there are cracks in this kind of anti-theatrical stance. It started with K-pop Demon Hunters this summer. We saw that go into theaters, made $19 million. It was the first Netflix's first ever #1 movie at the box office. They put it in theaters a second time. They're putting the Stranger Things series finale in theaters in January. They also have a deal with Greta Gerwig to put her Narnia movie in IMAX theaters for 2 weeks next year. So things are moving in this direction, regardless of Netflix's insistence that they're not in the theatrical business. And so we started reporting and started looking into and talking to people about is this signaling a shift, a strategy change? And it does feel like it is. They are moving into theaters. They are going to be a bigger force in theaters, whether they want to admit it publicly or not.
Well, when you talk about a couple of really driving forces why there is pressure on Netflix, even though the CEO Ted Sarandos has insisted for years and has continued to say publicly, we are not a theatrical company. We are not interested in theatrical, even as these other things are going on. What are the pressures that are driving this shift?
A big one is they're losing talent. So we have exclusive reporting in our story that I wrote with Humberto Gonzalez. You also contributed reporting the story, as did Jeremy Fuster. Real team effort here. That Zach Kreger, the director of Weapons, Netflix's film head, Dan Lin, flew over to meet him in Prague, where he was prepping his next movie. Tried to get him to make his
this summer.
Tried to get him to make this new sci-fi movie that he's written at Netflix. Kreger wanted theatrical. No go for Netflix, and so the project is kind of in limbo now. Zach Kreger wrote it for Amblin under Amblin's deal with Netflix, but he doesn't want to direct it there. They lost Emerald Fennell's Wuthering Heights to Warner Brothers because Emerald Fennell wanted that to go into theaters. They're never going to get a Christopher Nolan. He's never going to make a Netflix movie. You're looking at all these other studios are able to pull that leverage. You look at Apple has F1. That movie just had a 6-month theatrical window.